نحمده ونصلي ونسلم على سيدنا ومولانا محمد رسوله النبي الأمين المكين الحنين الكريم الرؤوف الرحيم. أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ومن يخرج من بيته إلى الله ورسوله ثم يدركه الموت فقد وقع أجره على الله. وقال الله تعالى في مقام آخر: الذين جاهدوا فينا لنهدينهم سبلنا. صدق الله مولانا العظيم. My dear respected brothers, my sisters, children and elders, mu'takifin and mu'takifat, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah, by the grace of Almighty Allah Jalla Majduhu, we are at this moment, on this day, which is not just Jumat, but it is the king of all Jumats. It is the most superior Jumat in the whole Islamic year. This Jumat, the last Jumat of the blessed month of Ramadan, is known as Jumatul Wida. Jumatul Wida. The Jumat of farewell. The Jumat that will bid farewell to this blessed month that Allah has bestowed upon us in our lives. And on top of that, today is the 27th of Ramadan. On top of that, today is the 27th of Ramadan. Alhamdulillah, there are many mu'takifin students at this moment here. And they will be writing notes of this lecture. And there will be three other lectures today after Jummah. One lecture is at 3:30, which is on the fiqh, the rules of tahara, purification. Then we have a lecture today after Jummah, in which everyone is welcome, but this is for the mu'takifin, mu'takifat, special 3 days camp, spiritual camp. There will be a lecture after that on the introduction to Ilm al-Hadith. We will introduce our students to the science of Hadith. How do we ensure that something is in fact the statement, the qawl, or the fi'l of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? And what are narrators, chain of narration? What is that? What is sanad? What is hadith? And hadith itself, how many different classifications are there? Sahih, Hasan, Za'if, Mawzu. All others, inshallah, also will be discussed. So, by the end of that lecture, everyone that participates will be, inshallah, familiar with the Sihah Sitta, the 6 authentic books, and the reason we call them Sihah Sitta. Then we have, inshallah, a lecture by Sheikh Nuruddin from the Klonsky Mosque on Ilm al-Quran, the Quran, the love of the Quran, how to attach yourself with the Holy Quran. And after that, inshallah, we have after Taraweeh tonight a very important lecture on the easy sunnahs, small practices of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which we as Muslims can adopt in our lives. Inshallah, we will talk. And tomorrow we have another program. The schedule should be on the notice board. If you want to, inshallah, note the times of the lectures, they are on the notice board. But this lecture that I am delivering now, this is a lecture on Ilm al-Ihsan. This lecture is a lecture on Ilm al-Ihsan. Can you repeat that? Ilm al-Ihsan. What is Ilm al-Ihsan? Islamic sciences, all of the Islamic sciences, they consist of three main subjects. main headings, 3 main categories. Islamic sciences, ulum al-Islamiyya, all of them. They are either part of the first category, either part of the second category, and either part of the third category. The first category is the category which is known as Ilmul Kalam. It is known as Ilmul Kalam. This is the first category. Ilmul Kalam is that category under which all those subjects come that deal with Aqidah, deal with faith, deal with theology, deal with what we believe in, Imaniyat. This is all Ilmul Kalam. Then we have a second category that falls under the Islamic sciences, ulum al-Islamiyya. That is known as Ilmul Ahkam. Ilmul Ahkam. The science of all the commandments. Under this category fall all these subjects that relate with the commandments of Almighty Allah. How to perform prayer, the fiqh of purification, for example, zakat matters, hajj matters, anything that relates with the 5 pillars of Islam is all detailed, discussed under this category, the second category, which is Ilmul Ahkam. So we have Ilmul Kalam, Ilmul Ahkam, and then there is a third category of Islamic sciences under which many other subjects fall. And this third category is known as Ilmul Ihsan. Ilmul Ihsan. If everybody can kindly switch off their mobiles, put them on silent, please. And I would like to welcome, we have among us, mashallah, Shaykh Allama Al-Qadri Sahab, who has also joined us, and we welcome, ahlan wa sahlan, we welcome them, mashallah. Whose mobile is this? Is this somebody's mobile? If you are praying and your mobile is on, you should, not you are allowed, you should actually silent it. But you don't like silent it in such a way that it's apparent, just quickly, just like this, without too much concentration. But you're not allowed to take it out, look who is calling, and then silent. No. See? So the third category is Ilmul Ihsan. In Islam, all the ulama, a'imma, scholars we have, they either relate to the first category, they either relate to the second category, or they either relate to the third category. However, there are some ulama that they are experts on 3 categories. There are ulama that themselves are expert on all these 3 categories. Normally, the scholars are only an expert on 1 category. For example, there are scholars that are known to be experts on kalam, theology. Imam Ghazali, for example, rahimahullah, he was a great scholar of theology. Then we have scholars that are experts in Ilmul Ahkam. For example, Imam Abu Hanifa, Imam Shafi'i, Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal, Imam Malik, Imam Ibn Qayyim, and later on throughout we have Imam Ibn Taymiyyah even. Imam Ibn Taymiyyah, who is in Ahkam, he is an expert. Of course, smaller expert than the ones I have mentioned before. Then we have a third category, Ilmul Ihsan. There are some scholars, they are just experts on Ilmul Ihsan. And what is Ilmul Ihsan? Ilmul Ihsan is the science which deals with the state of one's heart, the states of one's mind, and the state of one's soul. So Ilmul Ihsan does not deal with the Zahir. Ilmul Ihsan does not deal with theology, with what you believe. Ilmul Ihsan does not deal with your code and conduct. It does not deal with how you worship Allah. Ilmul Ihsan deals with just one thing, and that is how you worship Allah, with what state of mind do you worship Allah. It deals with your batin. It deals with your batin. It deals with your inner self. It is the science of purification. This is why it is also known as tazkiyah nafs. The science of tazkiyah nafs. The science of tasfiyah qalb. The science of purification of the heart. Purification of the soul. From all inner evil characteristics. This is ilm al-ihsan. In Islam, the month that Allah gave us, Ramadan, it is a month which reflects not just the zahir, but it also reflects the batin. In Ramadan, you have certain acts of ibadah that are to do with the zahir, with the second category, ilm al-ahkam. And then there are certain things in Ramadan which are more important than the rituals, more important than the taraweeh, more important than the fasting, more important than reading Quran. It is while you do all these acts of ibadah, what is the state of your heart? What is the state of your mind and the state of your soul? So if a person, and this is now the importance of the third category, if a person does not concentrate on his batin and does not purify his heart from evil characteristics, and the person adopts the zahir, the person prays, the person fasts, the person gives zakat, but he does not work on the inner self, purifying one's inner self. What happens is that sometimes the acts of ibadah that you do without ensuring the inner selves, then what happens is these acts of ibadah do not become rewarding, they only become rituals. Do you understand this point? They only become rituals, which means you may pray, but you do not gain the barakah. You may give zakat, but you do not gain the barakah. You may fast, but you do not get anything except hunger and thirst. Why? Because you have adopted the second category, the zahir, but you have not adopted the batin. Ulama in Islam generally, as I said, they are either of ilm al-kalam, ilm al-ahkam, and ilm al-ihsan. Now, yesterday night in the Laylatul Qadr, Qiyamul Layl, how many of you were there in Laylatul Qadr? Raise your hands, please. MashaAllah. Do you remember in the lecture on Tawbah, I mentioned that the importance of people that are of the first category this is a different category, not ulum. The first category of the slaves of Allah. Yesterday I discussed that there are slaves of Allah. We are all slaves of Allah, ibad Allah. Among these slaves of Allah, there are two categories. Those that are the true, haqiqi, abd of Allah. The true slave and servants of Allah. Those who obey His commandments. Those who are connected with Him all the time. These are the ahlullah, the awliya, the friends of Allah. And the second category is us people, those who are sinful, those who are weak, those who have shortcomings. I mentioned yesterday that the importance of such people that are ahlullah, friends of Allah, and who are these friends? They are experts on the third category, ilm al-ihsan. These people are experts on the inner self. And I will give you an example how sometimes scholars that are experts on ahkam, they are dependent on the scholars that are expert on ihsan. One of the imams our imams of the Ahlul Sunnah is Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal. Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal, who wrote the Musnad. This is one of the greatest collections of hadith, beautiful collections of hadith. And Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal rahimahullah is a great scholar of hadith as well as the scholar of fiqh, jurisprudence. Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal used to himself used to sit in the company of Imam Haris bin Asad al-Muhasibi. Imam Haris was a person who was not a scholar of hadith, was not a scholar of fiqh, was not a scholar of theology. He was a simple man. In fact, when you would look at him, he would not even have the uniform of ulama. He would not look like Ahlul Ilm. A simple man. But Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal, the great faqih, he used to sit in the company of Imam Haris bin Asad al-Muhasibi. Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal used to sit in the company of Bishr al-Hafi. Bishr al-Hafi, who is not a scholar of hadith, not a scholar of fiqh, not a scholar of kalam. Who is Bishr al-Hafi? Bishr al-Hafi was merely a simple man who was a friend of Allah, who in his life did not acquire the ulum. He did not become an expert of fiqh, of hadith. However, he became connected with Almighty Allah, and he became so much connected that he became an expert on the third science, which is ilm al-ihsan. This Bishr al-Hafi, let me tell you his history. Bishr al-Hafi was that man who used to be an alcoholic, who used to consume alcohol. Bishr al-Hafi used to be an alcoholic before, but then in his life he did tawbah. He did repentance, ruju ila Allah. He sincerely repented from his sins. كل ابن آدم خطاء وخير الخطائين التوابون. Every human being is weak, but the best person is the one who does tawbah after committing a sin. Imam Bishr al-Hafi's tawbah, what was his tawbah? Let me tell you. And this is in Ramadan. Throughout, Allah's blessings are on us. So the question is, after Ramadan, will we be connected like this with Allah or not? In Ramadan, we are connected. You come to the masjid. You pray every night tarawih. You fast for Allah. You stay away from that what is halal for you, food and drink. So in the month of Ramadan, we all are connected with Allah. The question is, do you want to remain connected with Allah after Ramadan or not? Yes or no? Yes. If you want to be connected with Allah after Ramadan, this is the lecture about what to do. What to do now? Before that, let me tell you, Imam Ahmad Bishr al-Hafi. Bishr al-Hafi's tawbah was this: he was an alcoholic. Once he consumed alcohol, and after that he went to walk outside. While he was walking somewhere on the streets, he saw some piece of the Quran, some page from the Quran, some page where the kalam of Allah was written, where the name of Allah was written. He was drunk himself, but he recognized it, and he took it home with him. He was drunk. When he brought it home, he cleaned this paper, and he was in the state of drunkenness, which is impurity, which is intoxication, state of haram, in which a person is continuously disconnected with his Lord. He is committing haram until he comes out of that intoxication. But while he was committing haram, he saw the kalam of Allah, took it home, and he cleaned that piece of paper. And after cleaning it, he used some musk, some fragrance, and he put it on that piece of paper, and then he put it somewhere high in his room. Put it somewhere high. That's it. Then he didn't do anything else. But he did وَالَّذِينَ جَاهَدُوا. Allah has said in the Quran, those people who strive to me, to us, Allah says, it doesn't matter. Even if their struggle, their striving is little, even if it is just to put my name up, Allah has commanded and made a commitment. لَنَهْدِيَنَّهُمْ سُبُلَنَا. Surely I will guide these people. But you must be sincere in your struggle. Bishr al-Hafi, while he was drunk, he was sincere. There was ikhlas, there was sincerity, there was no riyah, there was no showing off. He didn't do it for the people. There was nobody there. He just did it for himself. He just put the name of Allah and put it somewhere high. That night, Allah rewarded Bishr al-Hafi. That Bishr al-Hafi slept in the state of drunkenness, and he heard in the night a voice speaking to him, "Oh Bishr al-Hafi, you are disrespected, you are dishonored, your name is among the lowest servants of mine, but you have put my name high, you have honored my name, you have respected my name, you have put my name on a higher muqam, you have put fragrance on my name and honored it. Oh Bishr al-Hafi, now let me reward you, now let me guide you. My guidance, reward for you is, you are among the lower of the lower people. among the people that are sinful. But since you have raised my name, now Bishr al-Hafi, I am rising your status. Bishr al-Hafi, I am now picking you up from those that are khatta'een, those that are those that are musribeen, those that are the sinful people, the dishonored people, disrespected people. And I am, like you have honored my name, elevated my name, I am now elevating you, Bishr al-Hafi, from those people to my friends, O Bishr al-Hafi. Bishr al-Hafi became a friend of Allah. After this night he woke up, he did tawbah. From then, he never went close to alcohol. He became a true seeker of Allah. After this tawbah, Bishr al-Hafi became one of the greatest friends of Allah living on the surface of dunya at that time. Great imams like Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal used to sit in the company of Bishr al-Hafi. Bishr al-Hafi had 300,000 students. Bishr al-Hafi had how many students? How many? 300,000 students in Makkah alone. In the city of Makkah alone. The question is, Bishr al-Hafi was not a faqih. He was not a muhaddis. He was not a mufti. He was not anyone like that. He didn't acquire these ulum zahiriyah. Yet 300,000 people, Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal among them, used to sit in his company and consider them as the students. The question is, what was Bishr al-Hafi teaching them? The question is, what was Bishr al-Hafi teaching them? When he has 300 students, 1,000, nowadays, if you want to look at someone's ilm, you want to know how knowledgeable the person is, there is some measurements. One is, kam min mu'allifat. How many books did that person write, isn't it? Well, how many books did he author? But then you have another mayar, which is, how many talamiza, students does he have? How many because the more the ilm, the more students, it would mean the more knowledge. Now, the question is, he has 300,000 students. And all mutakifin, mutakifat, note this down. These are notes for you. We have mutakifin. We have approximately 50 people at this moment in the masjid. They are sleeping for 3 nights. They are in itikaf. 3 nights, 3 days. And they are youngsters, youth, and sisters also, and they are making notes of this. Can you imagine? You are living in Ireland, while majority is busy with fulus and dunya. There are marakas of ilm, alhamdulillah, like Al-Mustafa Islamic Center, where people are acquiring these ulum. Alhamdulillah. Now, what happened is, what does he teach? Somebody asked Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal, and before I tell you this, can I ask all of the brothers that are sitting there, please, can you just stand up and move this way, because the masjid, there is space here. Please, just some of you stand up, kindly, hurry up please, because I am delaying my lecture now, it means you will be delayed. Please, jazakumullah khair. And can we have, bhai, Arab bhai, ek kursi le aaye, Mohsin bhai ke liye kursi le aaye, ek do kursi aur le aaye. Just bring some chairs here please. Bete, aap bete ko bhej dena, le aayega. Please. And we have upstairs space also. If you would like to go upstairs, please go upstairs. Omar, Sundus, Omar, sit down please. Properly. Okay. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So, the question is, what did Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal teach? Some scholars, some people, tulaba, seekers of knowledge, went to the house of Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal. Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal, they knocked on the door, he was not there. So they inquired from his family members, where is Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal? These people had traveled many miles, many hundreds of miles, because they were confused about some matters of fiqh, of jurisprudence. So they wanted to get the answers. So they came at the house and Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal was not there. So these people were told Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal is not here, he is sitting somewhere else. And they were asked to go to that place. So when these people went there, they saw a very big majlis, like this majlis. And they saw in that majlis a man sitting on a chair who apparently did not have the uniform of ulama. He looked like a common man, a normal man, wearing normal clothes, common clothes. And they did not recognize him from the ulama. They did not recognize him from the Ahl-Ilm. In that gathering, Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal was sitting. Like you are sitting, Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal was sitting, listening attentively and looking at the face of that man. So these people, after this gathering, they went to Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal because they were shocked that what is happening. Imam Ahmad is one of the greatest Imams living today. Who is this man in whose gathering he sits and he gains knowledge? So they asked, "Oh Imam, who was that man that you were sitting with? Who is that man?" Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal said, "Huwa Bishr al-Hafi." What? Bishr al-Hafi. That was Bishr al-Hafi. And they say, "Oh Imam, is he from the ulama? Is he from the Ahl-Ilm? Is he from the ulama of ahkam? Ulama of fiqh?" No. Is he from the ulama of hadith? No, he is not. Ya Shaykh, then man huwa? Who is he? Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal, this is his reply. Listen to this. He says, "Oh people, you come to me, travel to me, because you want to know about the law, about the legislation, about the commandments, about the rules, the principles that he has sent and revealed. You want to know about the legislation, the law. This is why you come to me, because I am an expert on this. But I go to Bishr al-Hafi, because Bishr al-Hafi, he is the one who does not connect me with this. He is the one who connects me with that one who has sent this legislation. He is the one who connects me with the lawgiver, Almighty Allah. He is the one who connects me with the legislator, Almighty Allah. You come to me to know about the Sharia. He connects me with the one who has revealed the Sharia." This is Bishr al-Hafi. You come for the books, the Zahir, and I go to him for the Batin, because he connects me with the one who has given the Sharia. These are the Ahlullah, the friends of Allah. These are the awliya Allah. These are the awliya Allah. Allah says in the Quran about the awliya Allah. This is a category of people. 7,000 people until the day of judgment, they will remain on earth. If one of them dies, Allah will appoint another person on them. And in these 7,000, they have various ranks. Some of them, their hearts is on the heart of Ibrahim alayhi salam, Qalb Ibrahim alayhi salam. Some of them, their spiritual status is on the status of Musa alayhi salam. Some of them, Nuh alayhi salam. And this is all in the hadith, Siha Sitta. The books are full of that. Now, why am I saying this? It is Jumatul Wida, isn't it? Today is Jumatul Wida. I am talking about the Ahlullah, the friends of Allah. Why? I'll tell you. Because in Ramadan, my brothers and sisters, we all have been close to Almighty Allah, relatively speaking, to before Ramadan. Am I right or am I wrong? Please, everybody, am I right or wrong? Right. We have been relatively closer to Allah, right? We have worshipped Allah more than we worship normally, right? We prayed more than we pray outside of Ramadan, right? We fasted more than we fast outside of Ramadan. Why? Because in Ramadan, Allah gave us a suhbah. Allah gave us a companionship. Allah gave us a companion. Allah gave us the good atmosphere. What is that atmosphere? That is Ramadan. That is Ramadan. This friend, this atmosphere, this society, this environment of Ramadan, the companionship, suhbat of Ramadan, is that has connected us with Allah. It has brought us closer to Allah. But as companionship, when you are under any friendship, you will be influenced. But as soon as those friends go, their influence will also become weaker, isn't it? When you associate with someone, The more you associate with them, the more you will gain and you will be influenced from them. But as soon as you stop associating with them, gradually you will lose the influence that you gain from them. Ramadan is a friend. Ramadan is a suhbat, is a companionship. Ramadan is a companionship in which it influenced us spiritually. We became closer to Allah. We became closer to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We spent our nights in Qiyamul Layl. We spent our days in fasting. We prayed 5 times a day. We recited the Quran more than we recite normally. Why? Because of the influence of this environment. But like everything else, every environment, every friend, even this friend Ramadan will have to leave. Ramadan is leaving us now. Ramadan is leaving now. This is Jumatul Wida, the Jum'ah of farewell to Ramadan. So when Ramadan will leave us, gradually that influence we will lose. That influence we will slowly, you will see practically. First 2-3 days you will still be reading Salah on time. But slowly, you will go and you will lose the influence of Ramadan. Tell me honestly, brothers, do you want that influence to go? Or do you want the influence to stay? Do you want to be connected with Allah or do you want to lose the connection with Allah? So how will you? This is my advice. This is why I'm talking about the awliya Allah. These friends of Allah, let me tell you, Ramadan will go, but throughout the world, 7,000 friends of Allah are continuously in this dunya. My advice to you is, after Ramadan now, seek friends. Think about the friends you have right now. Think, do your calculation. Are they bringing you closer to Allah or are they bringing you far away from Allah? Think about that. The friends you have normally, do they bring you closer to Allah or do they bring you far away from Allah? Think, you do the calculations. If there is friends that bring you far away from Allah, remember they will have an influence on you. Please disconnect yourself from them. Stay away from them. Because these friends, on the day when you will be in your grave, they will not be there. You will be on the day of judgment, accountability, they will not be there. These that with you now associate will not be there. Make friends, new friends. Those friends that are friends of Allah. Those friends that are obedient slaves and servants of Allah. Those friends that will benefit you in this dunya and will benefit you in the akhirah. The friends of Allah are those people that will benefit a person not only in this dunya, even on the day of judgment. Even on the day of judgment. Yawm as-sa'ah, Yawm al-qiyamah. On that day, the friends of Allah will even benefit their friends on that day. Think about your friends that you are having right now. Sit down like Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal was dependent on friends of Allah. He was himself a friend, wali of Allah, but yet he was dependent on others who will more influence him. So what we need to do is we need to find such people. What are the signs of such people? 3 signs. 3 signs. Number 1, أو كما قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. The Prophet ﷺ was asked, Ya Rasulullah, man hu? Man awliya Allah? Who are the friends of Allah? And the Prophet ﷺ said, the first sign of the friends of Allah is that إِذَا رُؤُوا ذُكِرَ اللَّهِ. Those people, when you look at them and they remind you of Allah, by looking at them, they will remind you of Allah. The Prophet said, they are the friends of Allah. The second thing, the Prophet ﷺ said, the friends of Allah are those, if you sit in their company, if you sit in their sohbah, if you sit in their majlis, their sohbah, majlis will increase the sacred knowledge for you, will increase your ilm, will increase the ilm for you. So those people, the friends that will increase the knowledge of Islam, this is the sign they are friends of Allah. Then the third sign, what is the third sign of friends of Allah? Those, the Prophet ﷺ said, وَذَكَرَكُمْ بِالْآخِرَةِ. Those people, بِعَمَلِهِ, those people are the friends of Allah that through their life, their code and conduct, behavior will remind you of your hereafter. Those who will remind you of your akhirah. So please, when you make friends after Ramadan, look into these three signs. Does your friends, this is the measurement. Do they fulfill this criteria? Do they fulfill this condition? If they fulfill this condition, you will benefit from their friendship in the Day of Judgment. But if they do not fulfill this condition, let me tell you, they may meet you every day, they may be your business partners, wallahi, but on the Day of Judgment, even before the Day of Judgment, as soon as your ruh leaves your body, they will all get away and they will leave you alone in the grave. Now the last hadith before the end, and this is the hadith, the final evidence and proof that why should you attach yourself with the friends of Allah? On the Day of Judgment, how will they benefit you? The Prophet ﷺ said, this is mentioned in Imam Ibn Majah, Imam Nasai narrates, and Imam Bukhari narrates also. He says, عن سعيد الخدري رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم ما مجادلة أحدكم في الحق يكون له في الدنيا بأشد مجادلة من المؤمنين لربهم في إخوانهم. The Prophet said صلى الله عليه وسلم, on the Day of Judgment, please बैठ जाइए आराम से, मैं बैठ जाएंगे सब बैठ. On the Day of Judgment, the Prophet ﷺ said, some people, the friends of Allah, some people, they will argue with Allah. This is Imam Bukhari, not me saying. The Prophet is saying, not even Imam Bukhari. They will argue with Allah. And they will say, oh Allah, please give us our right that you promised us. Please give us the right that you promised us. And Allah will say, which right are you talking about? And they will argue far more way that you argue with each other. بِأَشَدَّ مُجَادَلَةً. And Allah will say, what right? And they will say that, Ya Rabb, فِي إِخْوَانِهِمْ الَّذِينَ أُدْخِلُوا النَّارِ. Oh Ya Allah, that right that you gave us about our brothers and sisters, those that are in hellfire. The friends of Allah, they will for their friends, the friends of Allah will for their friends that are in hell, that were weak and sinful, they will with Allah argue and demand a right. What is that right? And they will say, Ya Allah, Kanu ikhwanuna, Rabbana ikhwanuna, Kanu yusalluna ma'ana. Oh Allah, these friends of us, brothers of us, used to sometimes pray with us. Kanu yahujjuna ma'ana. Sometimes they used to do hajj with us. فَأَدْخَلْتُهُمُ النَّارِ. And Ya Allah, despite that they used to sometimes associate with us, you sent them in hellfire. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say to them, اذهبوا فأخرجوا من عرفتم منهم. To the friends of Allah, those that are in paradise, Allah will say, اذهبوا فأخرجوا من عرفتم منهم. Go and get everyone out of the fire of hell that you recognize. Man araftum, that you recognize. So these friends of Allah on the Day of Judgment, Imam Bukhari narrates, they will go in hell, but the hellfire will not touch them. It will not harm them. Like Ibrahim alayhi salam was in the fire, but it did not harm him. So they, the friends of Allah, they will be ordered, they will be granted permission to go in hell. But the fire of hell will not harm them. And when they will be there, they will recognize their friends of dunya that used to fast with them, pray with them, sit in their soba, get knowledge from them. And then Allah will tell them, go and recognize whoever you recognize, bring them out. And these friends of Allah will bring their friends of dunya out of the fire of hell. And they will bring them to Jannah. When the Prophet said this, Abu Sa'id says that after that the Prophet mentioned this and we Sahaba were shocked. Like you are shocked now, aren't you? You are shocked, isn't it? How is this possible? People, they will be so great that they will go in hellfire. and bring out people from Jahannam to paradise? The Sahaba were astonished also. So the Prophet ﷺ then, فَلْيَقْرَأْ هَذِهِ الْآيَةِ, the Prophet recited this verse, إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يَغْفِرُ أَنْ يُشْرِكَ بِهِ وَيَغْفِرُ مَا دُونَ ذَلِكَ لِمَنْ يَشَاءُ. The Prophet ﷺ said, remember, Allah will forgive anything except shirk. He will not forget shirk. And then وَقَالَ فِي مَقَامٍ آخر, then he recited this verse, أَلَا إِنَّ أَوْلِيَاءَ اللَّهِ لَا خَوْفٌ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا هُمْ يَحْزَنُونَ. These people that you are astonished about are the friends of Allah. Even on the day of judgment, they will have nothing to fear. So my dear brothers and sisters, for you, it becomes compulsory. If you want to be attached with the barakah of Ramadan, you must associate with the friends of Allah. After Ramadan, Ramadan is gone, but still the friends of Allah are around. Go seek halaqas of ilm. Whether in this masjid or any other masjid, doesn't matter. Sit down in halaqas of ilm. Sit down in gatherings of ilm. Sit down in gatherings of zikr, where people are remembering Almighty Allah. And you don't have to sit in this masjid. No, any masjid, any place where you will remember Allah, you should go. You should go. I am not among those people that will tell you, this is Islam. I teach you Islam, and everything else is not real Islam. I am not among those people. We don't teach that to people here. No, we believe that Alhamdulillah, Islam is everywhere. The beauty of Islam is everywhere. And Islam is diverse. Wherever you find some beautiful thing of Islam, go and get it. Go and get it, and get the fragrance of the flower of Islam throughout any place you can get. We don't say, go to this masjid, don't go to that masjid. We don't say that. We say, go to any place where people do not do shirk. They remember Allah, and where people do not propagate hatred. Any place where people are propagated hatred, enmity, kufr, hatred, enmity, arrogance, that you are better than others. Everybody is doing bid'ah. You are the people that are free from bid'ah. Anybody that teaches that, I stop you from going there, as it is the sunnah of the Messenger of Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why? Because such gatherings of fitna, they are not of any benefit. But if there are gatherings where people are only giving ilm and only giving love, peace and unity, go and sit in those gatherings, inshallah. Will you sit in such gatherings after Ramadan? Inshallah. Let me give you good news. We have, inshallah, after Ramadan, we are starting a weekly, because in Ramadan we have seen, mashallah, every night almost 100 people in Taraweeh. It was very busy this year. We have 50 people sitting for i'tikaf, mashallah. But after Ramadan, straight away, we will have weekly discourse, weekly course, lecture and zikr and course and istighfar, weekly, inshallah. And the exact date will be, inshallah, on the notice board. Now let me remind you now, before the khutbah and the salat, that zakatul fitr is wajib upon us. We have to pay zakatul fitr. Zakatul fitr is €7 per individual, €7 per person in your household. Please do not delay this zakatul fitr. Please pay this off quickly. And in the month of Ramadan, these are the last 3 days. Ramadan has not ended yet. Normally, after Laylatul Qadr, masjids are empty again. Don't. These last 3 days are the most important, significant days. They are the days of forgiveness. They are the days in which Allah has combined all the barakah of Ramadan. Do not be deprived from the barakah. And let me tell you about Eid. Eid, inshallah, will be announced Sunday night. We will announce Eid Sunday night, inshallah. Please go to our website, islamiccenter.ie. And from our website, you don't need to call, just go